Hey everybody, I'm Jamie Pruviance. Thanks for joining me again. It's time for an award-winning steak. This is Mike's award-winning ribeye steak. Mike is a guy from Minnesota who a few years ago won the Chicago Backyard Barbecue. This was a steak grilling competition, and people showed up from all over the Chicago area and beyond with fancy marinades and special spice rubs and sauces and little accoutrements and whatnot. And you know what? Mike just took the whole thing away with a beautifully grilled steak and a really simple rub. I'm going to show you how to do it. Here we have what will make any carnivore just absolutely salivate. Some beautiful, thick, juicy ribeye steaks. Nicely marbled. Just perfect color. These steaks have been sitting out at room temperature now for about 15 minutes. This is one of Mike's tips. It's really important because when they have sat at room temperature, they cook faster to the center. They reach the desired doneness faster, and the faster they cook, the juicier they're going to cook. The other big key to this recipe, or one of the other big keys, is the rub. I've got his seasonings over here. It starts with some kosher salt. There are 4 teaspoons of kosher salt, and then almost as much pepper, a full tablespoon of freshly ground pepper. And then we've got here about a teaspoon or so of dried thyme, an equal amount of dried oregano, and about a teaspoon or so of paprika. And Mike became so popular after winning this competition that people were requesting his special rub. In fact, he gave it away as a gift around the holidays. And he would actually give this combination and put on the bottle, Mike's award-winning rub, just add garlic. Because you don't want to add garlic at this point because garlic is perishable. So I've got a clove of garlic here. Just going to give it a whack. That makes it easier to chop. Now all of this rub is going to be applied top and bottom. You want to get the garlic pretty fine. I find that if you leave it too chunky, those little chunks burn. So get it down to a pretty fine puree. You might want to actually even use the side of your knife to smash it into a bit of a paste. That way it just sort of melts into the meat. And the juices and the fat in the meat protect it from burning. All right. So, now we do the obvious. Good even coating on both sides. It's so important to season meat before it goes on to the grill. When the seasonings hit the hot grill and the juices start to flow, the seasonings really change. Even if it's just salt and pepper, make sure you do this ahead of time. I've seen some people try and, put the salt and pepper on afterward, which in itself is okay if you want a little more salt and pepper, but there's nothing like the flavor of salt and pepper that has cooked into the meat. All right, that's probably enough for these 4 steaks. Pat it down a little bit. Now, the amount of oil you use really depends on how much fat there is naturally in the meat. Ribeyes tend to have a lot of natural marbling, so I'm just going to put a light coating of oil on there. And these are pushing an 1.5 inches thick, so they are going to take what I think a combination of heat. I certainly want to do these over direct heat, really nicely char the outside, but I think I'm going to want to finish them over indirect heat. Don't want to overcook the outside. Now let's talk about the grill itself. Got some beautiful charcoal burning away here. This is pure lump of mesquite, and I've piled the mesquite on about 2/3 of the grate, and this is going to be where I'm going to sear them. And then if I need to move them to some reason, I've got this other third over here where I can safely position them or finish cooking them very easily. And it's important that the grate be clean, okay? So you want to, while it's hot, get in there with a good brush and clean off any little bits and pieces, because those tend to cling on to the steaks and cause a little bit of trouble. So I'm going to lay these on the grill in the same pattern. They're all going to be pointing in the same direction. And I'm going to close the lid and let these cook. But you know, one thing you have to remember about a charcoal fire is that it is inherently uneven. It's pretty much hot all over in here, but it's a little bit hotter in certain spots. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of jockeying occasionally, just to even things out. The most important thing though now is to leave them alone and let them sear. It's going to take probably 2 or 3 minutes for them to get a good sear with the lid closed. I think I've done this 1,000 times, but every time it's just like, I love it. I just love it. It's so gratifying, the aroma of it, the sight of it. We're wired with this. Just the fire itself, just lighting the coals, just makes you feel like you're doing something that people have done forever and ever. You're gathering around that campfire. It's just natural. It's like the dolphin was meant to swim and man was meant to cook steak. Okay, after a couple of minutes, I'm ready to turn these. See that beautiful caramelization? I'm gonna go now to the other side. You're gonna get some flare-ups initially. Those are gonna die down. Beautiful searing. I can smell that mesquite coming through. The flare-ups will go down almost instantly when you put the cover back on. Take a look. Beautiful. So what I mean by jockeying them is that, you know, occasionally if you find that something is searing a little faster on one side, you'll just switch positions. Same in here. You might want to switch these two in and out.
As you make this stuff in your backyard, do you ever see like people peering over the side of the fence?
Yeah, I do. And I know a lot of my neighbors, you know, they wonder why it is that this person never works. He's always outside barbecuing. They just don't know that, you know, some of them don't know that I actually do this for a living. And lucky me. So I waited as long as I can, I think. I'm going to just take a piece off of here. It's another winner. You know you want this. Come on, go out and do it. This is Mike's award-winning ribeye.